Hello and welcome to ZigWheels, folks, and today we are here with the Toyota Urban Cruiser Hyryder. Now this is something we've all been looking forward to. We've got lots of details on it, like fuel efficiency, prices, and when you can expect it to be launched and delivered. But first, let's start with the car and the name itself, Urban Cruiser Hyryder. I know there's been some confusion around this. Is it the replacement for the Urban Cruiser? Is it a Creta rival? Clear cut, guys. We said this is going to be a Creta rival, and that's exactly what it is. Urban Cruiser is Toyota's family name for vehicles which are, well, you know, more rough road ready. So we're going to take a quick look at it, tell you how big it is, and you can tell us what you think about it in terms of its design, its size, right? Now the thing that I really liked up front, it looks sleek, but it's got some really sporty elements as well, which are kind of discreet. Like if you look around here on the grille, you can see it's got this black finish on top, but underneath there's that carbon fiber like finish, which is really cool. And of course a honeycomb type grille. You've got LED DRLs up here, and the fog lamps of course down here. If you come down the side, and we'll go around that way, for once Neeraj is following my instructions rather than me following his instructions. So this, you see 17-inch wheels that you've got here. It's got quite a bit of, in terms of length, it is quite long, just a bit longer, in fact 50 millimeters longer than the Kia Seltos, and in terms of width it's 5 millimeters narrower. In terms of height it's just a bit lower, but it is quite long, and you can see that from the side down here. And if we come around to the rear, we can take a look at what it's got here in terms of the tail lamp design. You can see similar to the front, it's got that pronged kind of shape here. Now when we're talking about the design, we're looking at it, and it definitely feels crossoverish, not out and out butch SUV. You can see how the roof also slopes downwards as it comes to the rear. It's not flat and square in that sense, but it's something that, being a Toyota, you kind of rely on its ability to take a bashing quite easily. Now before we go any further, I want you to see the boot, and that's going to take us into other conversations as well, and it's important to understand this. You can see the boot here, right? There's a bit of a step here, right, going up here, eating into the boot space. So the boot space on this version that we see here isn't looking all that great, and that's because this is a strong hybrid system. This car, there will be two variants, two engines, and this is where we come into the part where Toyota and Suzuki come together, because this is a product that's been jointly developed by them. There is a normal 1.5 litre naturally aspirated engine, and then there's a 1.5 litre engine from Toyota, which is a strong hybrid engine. We're going to talk about that more later, but that's where this comes in, because the battery pack is down here, and it's 1.8 kilowatt hours of battery. So it's a small battery, and which is going to help keep the cost low. But Toyota say that's what works, because they have had this strong hybrid system for a long time. They know how to optimize it, and they say it works 40% of the distance. You can work in hybrid mode 60% of the time, and it can even run even in pure EV mode. We're going to talk about that in a bit. There's somebody on the inside right now, so we're going to give them some time while they do that. In the meantime, I'm going to just run you through some of the other bits that you would want to know if you're looking at this closely. For instance, you will get all-wheel drive on this car, and the all-wheel drive system is available only with the 1.5 litre K-series engine from Suzuki. It is available only in the top variant, which is the V variant. There are 4 variants with the 1.5 litre engine. You do get an automatic transmission there as well, which is available on the top 3 variants of that engine. Now I'm going to quickly also talk about the power and of course the specs of the more potent engine. So starting with the 1.5 litre K-series engine, it makes 102 PS of power. That's something we're familiar with. It comes with a mild hybrid system, and then there's the more potent strong hybrid system that we have here, which is the Toyota motor. This is a 3-cylinder engine. Keep that in mind. This is not the same engine, because Suzuki also has a hybrid, strong hybrid engine in Europe. Now this one comes with a ECVT, so to speak. It's a torque converter, but it's splitting torque from the electric motor, from the engine, and this engine makes about 92 PS of power, whereas the electric motor makes 80 PS of power, but combined it's not 170 PS, it's 115 PS. But this is always how the hybrids work. They complement each other and end up delivering better drivability and performance when needed, while also optimizing fuel efficiency, right? So let's see if we can quickly take a peek on the inside. All right, as we get inside, before we talk about anything else, the thing that I'm most excited about is that this is the fruit of a partnership, a very deep relationship between Suzuki and Toyota, and this is the first all-new product we are seeing in that sense from them. And so we are going to see something under the hood which shows how they're working together. So there is the simpler engine, which is the 1.5 litre K-series engine, something we've already seen in Maruti products here in India. It makes 102 PS here on the Urban Cruiser Hyryder, and it is available with a 6-speed manual, 6-speed automatic, and all-wheel drive. Yes, you're going to get the option of a 4-wheel drive SUV now here in this segment, finally, right? And aside from this, there's the more high-tech engine, which is, in that sense, the Toyota, the jewel in their crown, the hybrid technology that they are so well known for. Now, this is a 1.5 litre engine as well, but this is a 3-cylinder engine, and it comes with a strong hybrid system. So it's got a strong motor which makes 90 PS of power, 80 PS of power, whereas the the ICE part of it makes 92 PS of power. Put together, that would be about 170 PS, but as hybrids, the strong hybrids, the way they work together, they don't quite add up. What you do get is a peak power of 115 PS, but you will get lots of efficiency. Now, there are no official figures from ERI yet, but it is expected that it would be in the range of 26 to 28 kilometers per litre for a vehicle of this size, which is particularly impressive. So if you're looking for a diesel alternative, this might be very interesting. Now, this will only be an automatic on offer, and aside from that, what you will get on this strong hybrid is what I'm excited about. This button means a lot. EV mode, which means you can drive it just on battery power for not too long, because it's a small battery. It's about 1.5, 1.8 kilowatt hours, and that will let you drive, depending on conditions, maximum 3 to 4 kilometers. But that is also important. The smaller battery will also allow this to be a more affordable, strong hybrid than we've seen otherwise. What the pricing will be, we don't know just now, but we have an indication, and I'll talk about that later. Now, first, let's talk about the cabin. Now, here too, you will find there are things that are, new. This is very Toyota in some ways. You can see that theme, like in terms of the dashboard design. You can see the way this rolls down. Kind of reminds me of the Fortuner. This is still hard plastics, but all of it is really well put together. But if you look around the cabin, you'll find there are familiar bits as well. Do you think this 9-inch touchscreen is familiar? Do you think this air conditioning panel is familiar? Did you recognize it? If you did, let us know in the comments. I think it's kind of obvious, but the point is these are good bits. We like them otherwise as well, and it's good to see them here as well, right? Now, this is a 9-inch touchscreen infotainment system, wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You've got USB charging port down here. You've got a wireless charger here for your smartphone, another socket here, and let me not miss this out. You've got a panoramic sunroof. So the wow feature is definitely coming in here. And if you notice the seats, they're perforated, and that's also because they are ventilated, right? So the Hyryder is coming with a fair amount of kit. Even if you look at the driver's instrument cluster, I'm sorry, I can't really switch it on right now. None of these things, because we don't have the key fob, if you can see this here, but it's got a 7-inch digital display here for the driver. If you look further up here, you've got a heads-up display. Again, might seem familiar, and if this was working, I'd be able to show you the 360-degree surround camera, which might also sound familiar to you. So you know how this collaboration between the two brands is working. I think it's working for the better for both of them. What do you think of the cabin? I'm particularly impressed with how well it's been made. The seat bolts, look at it. It looks handsome and it feels right. The way to support, to make it really nice and supportive as well. Right? So that is the front seat of this Hyryder with the hybrid powertrain. I'm going to step into the back to show you what it's like over there. All right, here we go. Okay, so armrest with cup holders, 3 adjustable headrests here. You've got rear aircon vents and 2 charging ports down here. And like we saw on the Brezza, this too has 1 USB-A port and 1 USB-C port. Interesting, right? Now, the one sensation that I get here when I'm sat in the back seat, which is emphasized a bit more, is that it's not as wide as some of its competition would be, but I think it's a comfortable back seat. You can see the amount of space on offer. headroom for taller occupants might be an issue because I am only 5'6" and you can see the amount of headroom on offer here. This is of course the dual pane sunroof eating into the headroom as well. So if you're taller, you might want to check out the back seat. But in terms of comfort, for me at 5'6", this feels nice. Sitting 3 abreast, I think would be a bit of a squeeze. And also, like I said, for taller occupants. What I'll do is I'm going to call Amir and ask him to sit here. I'm going to step out while he does that because he's much taller than me and we'll get a quick reference right away. In the meantime, cool it off. And Amir is here, so I'm going to hop out. You guys can see what it's like with a 6 footer inside. How is it for you?
A little tight on headroom, just about enough.
Yeah, you can see it's touching the roof liner. Yeah, but other than that,
Pretty good.
enough room for you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
awesome. Okay, so that's the second row. We've already seen the boot. We've spoken about the front. We've spoken about what's under the hood. But I think let's take a quick peek at what actually it looks like under the hood before we say bye. Just want to take a quick look at the power train. It's always nice to see those little bits under the hood. Now you can see here, we were saying this is a 3-cylinder engine. You can see on the top, right? Those are the connectors running in there, right? So now the only thing we've got left to talk about is indicated pricing. We expect, the indication is that the Hyryder will start under 10 lakh rupees. And that's possible because you have that simple engine, the K-series engine, which is 1.5 liters with 102 PS of power. And the base version of it will be a manual transmission only. And that is expected to start under 10 lakh rupees, which means it will be very competitive. And the sense that we get from Toyota is that they are looking to be quite aggressive with this in the sense of not charging a premium because they've got hybrid tech. They want to compete with the rivals. And at the upper end of the spectrum, if you look at like the Kia Seltos, the diesel powertrain, it costs about 18.2 lakh rupees ex-showroom. So my expectation is for this top-end variant with the hybrid powertrain, it would cost about 19 lakh rupees, which would be pretty awesome actually if you think about it, because this is going to offer you high levels of fuel efficiency. You know about the Toyota reliability, and in terms of features, it's coming with a good amount of kit. Pretty much everything that the competition has to offer, plus a bit more in some areas. The only thing is that it doesn't feel that wide on the inside. Boot space with the hybrid powertrain will be a compromise, and you can expect it to go on sale towards the end of August, start of September, with deliveries closer to Diwali. So what do you think of the Toyota Urban Cruiser Hyryder? Does it interest you? What do you think it should have had? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you more, and we'll try and answer those questions when we can.